I am here with Mr. Nasser Alshaikh. He is the chairman of Amlak, and that is the largest Islamic finance company here. It is the largest publicly traded company that does that here in the Middle East. And Mr. Alshaikh, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it. Let me ask you, just so Americans can understand, what exactly, when we say Islamic finance, what does that mean you do?
Well, the fundamental difference between Islamic financing and conventional financing, in Islamic financing you do not charge interest. It's based on a profit rate which is dictated by how much risk we as a financing company take. So this is the key difference. You know, the end product, when it comes to the products that a typical Islamic financing company offers to the public, is very similar to those conventional ones, but all of the differences are in how you structure the product.
How you structure it. So you still make money like a financial institution in the U.S. All right, so can I just ask maybe a silly question, but can I get a mortgage here?
Exactly. Amlak Finance is the first mortgage provider in the country. We started in the year 2000. The whole mortgage industry in the UAE started in the year 2000 when foreign freehold property ownership was allowed. Nowadays there are more than 23 providers in the country.
So there's nothing in Islamic finance that would prevent you from getting a 30-year mortgage or something like that?
Not at all, not at all. Islamic finance is based on asset-backed financing. You know, so in Islamic finance, you do not lend cash, but as long as there is an asset in place, yes, you can do that.
And interesting you mentioned asset-backed. You're also talking about mortgages. I mean, asset-backed in particular, with the global credit situation, I would imagine it has hit very close to home. Has it impacted you?
I won't say it to the same degree that we see in the States. Of course, there is a psychological impact on international capital markets. It's becoming a bit more expensive to borrow from international capital markets. However, it's not as severe as people think it is.
It's not as severe.
No.
It's interesting. That is something that I have been hearing again and again, talking to other people here running businesses.
Yeah.
They feel much more positively about the U.S. economy than a lot of American economists and business people do. What makes you so positive about the U.S. overall, or willing to say that the credit issue perhaps is a small issue and not a bigger one?
Well, I think throughout history, any economy has its own challenges. However, it's not the end of the world. Economies do recover. Yes, there is an issue. However, it's only in the subprime market. In the prime lending market, you don't have a real problem. But it's all of the issues are psychological. If we compare it to the UAE or even the Gulf states overall, we do not have a subprime industry here. All of our lending is based on prime lending. So yes, we do acknowledge that the States is a leading global economy. Whatever happens in the States do affect all economies around the world. But I think it's only for some time, and it will go away.
So you think it'll go away, which, am I right, means you don't think we're going to have a recession in the U.S. and hence that's good for the UAE?
I don't think so. I think there are certain measures that are being taken, like cutting the Fed rates and so on. There might be a slowdown, but I don't see it as, I won't label it as a recession, no.
And interesting, you said that you've been going over to the U.S. fairly frequently, talking to investors. Is the goal to have American investors be able, say, to invest in Amlak as a company in any way?
Well, when we go on these road shows, we're supporting our capital market here, the Dubai financial market. Amlak was one of the first companies to allow foreign ownership of its stock to the maximum 49%, which is allowed by law. For us as a company, we'd like to have a wider shareholding base. We'd like to have the sophisticated investors that originate from the U.S. and Europe and so on. So we do this from time to time, and we try to attract more funds to our capital markets.
Would you list on the New York Stock Exchange?
I won't rule it out. There are no plans, but I won't rule it out in the future, no.
All right. Well, Mr. Alshaikh, thank you so much. We appreciate your coming in and joining us tonight here on the beach at the Jumeirah Resort.